The Colchian Randonnée, the hardest, most technical Skimo race in North America. 10,000 feet of climbing, crossing glaciers on an active volcano. A race so technical that you have to complete a skills test just to compete. The only problem? The race is in 2 weeks. Most people train for years to do something like this, but I've only backcountry skied once this summer. Despite this, within 14 days of training, I will find myself, a 16-year-old boy, skiing the most technical race in North America, and asking the only question that matters. Is it even possible to survive this race? Here's the game plan. Buy the gear necessary on a budget. Train, including backcountry skiing, running, and biking. And learn crevasse rescue skills for the test. Now is a great time to say why I only have 2 weeks to prepare. This is because I only just found out about this race when a relative mentioned he had an entry into this event but was unable to compete. I decided to take it on as a challenge. For this adventure, I will be recruiting my dad, Peter, and a friend, Ors, an endurance pro and Skimo racer. With this amazing team assembled, I'm starting to worry I'll be the weak link in the team. I need to start training. Training is not everything. There's also the gear, much of which I will have to buy. For this competition, each of us is required to carry a harness, 6 locking carabiners, a sender, a pulley, a rope for tying a prusik, 2 more ropes for self-ascending and tying anchors into the snow, an ice axe, an ice screw, ski crampons, and an emergency satellite communicator. Our team also needs a 30-meter long 6mm thick rope and a radio. Using this gear will build on the training I have with an ice axe and crampons from the Pacific Crest Trail 2 years earlier, but taking it to a whole new level. I only have a week left to learn how to use all this new gear, and I will be tested. This is not good. After practicing a lot at home, we met up with our teammate to practice together. It was a lot to memorize, and I needed lots of work. Alright, it's time to drive down and go do this race. Let's go get it. We arrived into the small rural town of Concrete at 1 p.m. After practicing all our skills for the 100th time in the rain, scared we would fail the skills check, we headed into the building to take the test. I was very scared I would fail and let the team down. After all the hard work, it would be a shame to lose it all here. Luckily, we all passed the test with flying colors. Our skills practice had come in handy, but the real challenge was still on its way, with the race the following day. After a great dinner, we headed over to the theater to hear the plan for tomorrow.
Well, here we are. Important things that we want to think about is how long, especially with this race start delay, is how long we're going to have volunteers out on the mountain. We're going to have a 1 o'clock cutoff at the east end, and then we're also going to have a 3:30 intermediate cutoff at the squawk checkpoint.
We're going to have some moderate to strong winds out there, and wind chills are looking super cold down into the single digits and even the negatives. And we think that human-triggered avalanches are going to be likely in wind-loaded terrain.
Alright, so it's definitely scary to look at the forecast with all the snow we've gotten, all the snow coming, the cold temperatures. There's also a chance of thunder tomorrow, which could stop the race, so that is another worry. The uncertainty is definitely scary, but we're excited for the adventure, because the adventure is where the outcome is unknown, and that is apparent in everything I do, it seems like. Another thing I forgot to mention is the time cutoffs. 9,500 feet of climbing, all in 8 hours. that is going to be very hard to do. The one goal for tomorrow is to be safe, and then it's to complete, and that is going to be a challenge. Let's go see how it goes. Quick editor's note here, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and stay tuned for some more epic adventures coming up. As we drove an hour up the mountain on a pothole-covered road, butterflies started to fly around in my stomach. Would it be possible to do this race? Would the time we all spent be worth it? I do not want to let my team down, nor myself. Alright, we're here, and we're ready to race. Let's go see how it goes. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh. That's good. Let's go get it. Are you ready, Dad?
Yeah! Woo-hoo.
Before I knew it, the race had started. After a mile, we took off our skis, realizing it was faster to hike. We switched back up through the trees for 2 miles until we reached the edge of the tree line, where we clipped back into our skis and continued up the mountain. My hips were already starting to hurt under my heavy backpack, and we only had climbed 1,000 feet. Looking at my heart rate, it was 170. I panted as I tried to keep up. This was not going to work. I was not going to be able to sustain this. I was already exhausted, only 1/10 of the way in. Looking at our watches, we realized that this pace was the slowest we could afford to make the first cutoff. With a 2-hour delayed start time due to foul weather, the time pressure was amplified. I needed to go faster. We made it to the first checkpoint just in time, then roped up for the first glacier crossing. It was the first time skiing as a team and my first time ever being roped up, and this provided a challenge. With all our different paces, some of us were tugging, while some of us were tripping over slack. It took a little immersive learning to sort everything out as we skied through the little visibility. After a tedious rope climb, we finally made it to the summit of the first ascent. It was time to ski down, and I was excited, but I was also worried. We were going to be skiing down an active glacier without any rope. There was a chance with every turn that we could fall into crevasses hidden under the snow. Luckily, after a few minutes of skiing, the fear started to melt, and the clouds started to thin until we could finally see more of the beautiful mountain. This was what it's all about, I thought, as spirits rose to an all-time high.
Woo! Oh yeah.
Arriving at the base, it was game on. I handed the volunteers my water bladder to be filled up, crammed half a sandwich down my throat, which was all I had time to put down, put my skins back onto my skis, tossed my pack onto my back, and we were off in under 4 minutes. There was no time to rest. My high spirits plummeted as soon as my feet hit the next climb. My legs felt like lead. My back hurt, and all I wanted to do was quit. This was too much. Then, my worst nightmare came into play.
Cutoff is at 3:30. We're gonna have to dial up the pace. 2,000 feet of climbing.
And he was right. We were on the knife edge of making it to the next checkpoint in time. With just over an hour, we had over 2,000 feet to climb, on my tired legs and despairing mindset. This was impossible, I said to myself. This race was as much as a mental challenge as a physical one. I'd not been able to train as much as I had wanted, and I was facing the consequences. After the hardest, fastest climbing of my life, we made the checkpoint with 5 minutes to spare, and left 1 minute before the deadline. We were the last team by 20 minutes, but we were doing it, and that was what mattered. As we climbed, the air started to thin, making breathing more difficult, and the smell of volcanic sulfur grew. Soon, we could see the top of the mountain looming above us. I hated the clouds, but now I was starting to wish they were there. Looking up, it seemed impossible to be able to make it up before 6 p.m., our final cutoff. Luckily, the one thing on our side was the weather. With each step, the goal of completing seemed farther and farther away, not closer, as fatigue caught up. We had not stopped at all during the ski, except to refill with water at one station and rope up at 2 places. It had been necessary to make the cutoffs, but I was barely hanging on. I started to ask myself, why was I doing this? Why was I here? After lots of climbing, we finally made it to the top, something that seemed impossible until the very end. I had doubted myself on every step of the way, but now had seen what I was capable of, and what I was capable of putting my mind to. But we were still not done. We still had the ski down, which was going to be tough, especially because of our worn out legs.
So tired.
As we skied further down the mountain, the powder turned into crust, where the temperatures had rose above freezing. It was awful, and each turn took all the strength in my body. I had never wanted to skip the downhill section of the ski until then. After 30 minutes of challenging skiing, we hit the tree line. In the trees, each turn mattered even more, and our pace slowed down to a crawl. Once the snow ran out, we put our skis on our backs and started to jog downhill through the forest. There was no trail. After a mile of fast walking, crawling over logs, dodging trees, and sliding on the snow, we made it to a trail, 2 miles from the bottom. I was exhausted, and each step felt like I was carrying hundreds of pounds. And I was, carrying my 150-pound body and 49 pounds of gear, the heaviest load I had ever carried for the hardest event of my life. The goal of completing this race, something that had seemed impossible even just an hour ago, was now in reach. After 9 hours and 30 minutes of pain, we finished the race, and I know I could not have been a minute faster. Throughout the event, the team had helped power me on and helped push me to the very end. Once again, I saw the importance of working with others to achieve goals that I never thought I could do. I have lots more crazy adventures planned this summer, so stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.